Hello, everybody. My name is Kristina Johnson. I am CEO of KJ Marketing Group, and this is Marketing Makeover with Kristina Johnson. After nearly 15 years in marketing, I decided to start my own agency because I witnessed firsthand what could be done better for the client. With a strong background in agency and analytics, I know that database marketing is the foundation of all effective marketing campaigns. But that's only the beginning, because we're also going to hit on subjects such as women in business, talking to women CEOs, and lending advice on how to make your mark in your industry. So, do you have a marketing issue? Let's solve it. Now, let's get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Kristina Johnson, founder of KJ Marketing Group, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Makeover. Now, you know, with Marketing Makeover, we discuss tips and tricks on marketing in your industry, but I also get the wonderful opportunity to work with women in business. And those women include women CEOs, entrepreneurs, and general managers in the Houston area. So the question for today is, how do we market ourselves as women, especially in male-dominated industries? So the guest I have today is Maria Moncada. She is the general manager of BMW of West Houston. Thank you for being here, Maria.
Thank you, Kristina, for having me. It's an honor.
I've worked with Maria for years in assisting with her marketing, and we have really just bonded and started a really great friendship. And she has such a wonderful story when it comes to her perseverance, her hard work and dedication, and of course the automotive industry. I know that you've worked in the automotive industry for over 25 years, so we're very excited to understand what drives Maria and how did she get to where she is today. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how did you start in the automotive industry?
Kristina, I started in the automotive industry over 25 years ago, fresh out of high school. I'm one of 7 kids, born to a wonderful Honduran father, Spanish mother, and being one of 7 kids, if I wanted to go to college, I had to pay my way through. So I was fortunate. I found a job, an entry-level position as a receptionist / secretary in a car dealership, Bill Hurd Chevrolet. And this position paid pretty well for an inexperienced college student. So I wanted to make sure that when I entered the workforce, I added as much value as possible. So I volunteered for extra jobs. I learned as much as I could. I wanted to make sure I provided value to my employer since I was getting paid well. What happened is I fell in love with the car business. The more I learned, the more I fell in love with it. And that love became my passion. And then I made the courageous decision to make it my career. And I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. As you may have noticed, the automotive industry is a male-dominated industry. And when I first started, it was even more so. So there weren't a lot of women in the automotive industry. And I knew it would be a challenge. But one thing about me, I'm always up for the challenge. So I was excited to tackle it, to make it my career, and to give the very best I could.
And I can definitely relate to you on that. I've been in the automotive industry, actually grew up in the automotive industry. My father's been in the industry for over 35 years. And so growing up in the car dealership definitely put that passion for myself and working in marketing for automotive dealers. But I can tell you there are hurdles. I mean, I know that there are more women, and we'll talk about that in the automotive industry. But what were some of the hurdles that you saw moving forward to higher positions in the automotive industry, and how did you overcome those hurdles?
I would tell you, like any opportunity worthwhile, anything big is going to be challenging. So the key is, being persistent, being tenacious, not giving up. I was very fortunate to meet a lot of great mentors throughout my career, mostly men, mostly white men, that helped encourage me, challenge me, had me step up, and I think that that's been one of the blessings in my career, being able to meet mentors and folks that I learned from. Hurdles, I would say, I wasn't the typical person that fit into the group. There weren't a lot of women. I was young. I was Hispanic. I am Hispanic. And at the time, it just was not common to see women in the automotive industry. And so the good news is I showed up, I stepped up, I spoke up, and I made sure that I added as much value as possible. And fortunately, I surrounded myself with people that believed in me and encouraged me and challenged me.
And I agree with that, and I agree with first impressions. And sometimes when you are a woman in a male-dominated industry, your first impression has to be, it might not be the best because they see you a certain way, right? But when you're able to show them that you know the industry, you know the business, you've done your research, there's a whole new door that opens after that, right? So in the beginning, how were the first impressions for you? Was it more, do you feel like you had to work a lot harder in order to get that respect or become more, for them to see you as more knowledgeable?
I think you definitely had to perform exceptionally well to earn your spot in the automotive industry, especially in the segments that I was going into where there weren't a lot of women. I was the first female sales director to become #1 in the U.S. in retail sales for General Motors. And I remember the CEO at the time coming down and going, okay, who's your sales director that's achieving all these great volume objectives and #1 in the country? And they pointed at me and he said, that little girl? And I was like, so
it's those first impressions, right?
It was a first impression.
Yes.
He quickly changed his mind about my ability to do the job and realized that, you know, I was serious about my career. I was serious about my commitment to the industry and my desire to give the very best of myself to contribute to make a positive impact and to elevate my team. You know, everything I've done it with a team of people. No one succeeds alone. And I'm a benefactor of a great community team that has always supported me.
Yeah, I've actually witnessed that firsthand whenever we visit each other and I see how you are with your team and, you know, the value that you bring to your team and you really, you know, show the appreciation. So I really respect that about you as a woman. And then I can definitely say, you know, working in the automotive industry and sales, selling marketing to automotive dealers, it's not for everybody. Some people get very intimidated, especially if you're a woman. You're walking into a dealership and you have to really do the research and know the business. And I think it's just having that confidence. And I think that you really air that confidence. It's in you and you can see that and you can see that drive. And if I see it, I know other people see it. And that's probably why also that's helped you in your career is having that confidence. I think a lot of women too think that with a male-dominated industry that you have to be strong, you have to be hard. Not strong necessarily, but you have to be hard. You have to have a certain demeanor. But I've seen you take that the opposite route. For you, you use that feminine energy in your business. And I think that's very important for us to do as women, and especially as you bring more women into the automotive industry. What would be your advice in bringing that feminine energy, not just to the automotive industry, but pretty much any industry?
I think in any business, you're going to have folks, whether it's men or women, with masculine qualities, female qualities, what we considered typical masculine qualities, or
Yes.
typical feminine qualities. I was privileged by our company to get a scholarship to San Diego University to take a fellowship called Shakti Leadership. So I was a part of this fellowship that really had me see the feminine energy completely different. And in today's environment in business, that feminine energy, the qualities like compassion, empathy are needed. Our teammates want a sense of purpose beyond the bottom line. They want to feel a part of something greater and bigger. And they want to know that they're making a positive difference. So we talk about the triple bottom line: people, planet, and profits. They're all equally important, and they're not exclusive of each other. So if we take care of the triple bottom line, I think it's almost inevitable for your business to not flourish. It's gonna prosper. And that's what we focus on. One of the things you were saying is about, being a strong woman. I think being strong, whether you're a man or a woman, is important in any business. Being confident about what you do. And I think you said something key. One of the things that I really enjoy about working with you is you're always prepared. You always know the business and you genuinely care. You're invested in this partnership. And that's the key to success, being invested in a true partnership with your teammates, whether they're your subordinates, they're your clients. Yes. Make sure you're invested with them because that shines, that comes through. And those relationships, I think, are the key to any successful relationship.
Agreed. And I appreciate that, Maria. I love working with you. And I'll tell you that I think with the women in business, we have that nurturing effect. We want to nurture our team. We want to nurture our clients. And I think that people respond to that. And I think that's really powerful. So women, don't be afraid to use that in your business, whether you're just starting your business, you're just starting in the career field, you finally got that first job out of college, or you're moving up the ladder. Just make sure you have that confidence and that you use that energy, because it's good energy and it's something that people respect.
And I think the key is balance.
Yes.
You want to have those masculine qualities, traits that have always been present in business.
Yes.
Things like goal-oriented. Those are considered masculine, even though many women have those qualities. But you want to keep the masculine and the feminine qualities in business. And now those feminine qualities are embraced, where for many years, showing compassion, empathy, telling your employee, man, I love you guys, y'all are awesome, was not really welcomed in business. It was all about getting to your goal, getting to the number, and that was it. And we're seeing that shift. So I think going into any industry, go into it with a balance of qualities. Still have that tenacity, that competitiveness, but make sure that you don't shy away from those innate qualities that many women have and many men have as well, which are compassion, empathy, and just a caring nature for the people that work with you.
And I think that's what keeps you in the business and has kept you at BMW of West Houston for quite some time. I mean, it's, we all know in the industry, a lot of general managers are changing. I mean, everybody knows everybody in this industry. And, we see a lot of change when it comes to, a dealership. A general manager might leave a few years, go to another one, maybe hop to another one. It's just the nature of the business. But you are different. You have been there for how long has it been now?
So I've been with BMW 15 years. In my 15 years, I ran a Porsche Audi store for 1 year for our same parent company, which is Sonic Automotive. And I like being with a team for a long time, especially on a brand like BMW.
That's a fun brand, by the way. Yeah. I'm still waiting to test drive that brand.
It's hard not to believe in the ultimate driving machine. It's such an easy sell. I'll tell you the truth. I mean, it sells itself, and I love the brand. I love the team that I work with, and so I think for me the key is building long-term relationships with your team as well as with your clients. For us, it's not just about selling that car and then forgetting about the customer. When they come in, we have collaborative areas rather than the traditional antagonistic, I'm the salesperson, you can't look behind my computer, I'm gonna trick you into buying this car. I don't know what
transparent, right?
We're super transparent,
Yes.
We're collaborative. We really encourage our customers to be a part of it. We share the screen so we can figure out what we're ordering, what's important to them, what they need, and meeting their needs is probably one of our greatest goals. And so those long-term relationships are, I think, what keeps me with the same brand, with the same store, and with my team.
Yeah, and I think that's very important, especially for auto dealers, because service is really big, and that's what builds the long-term relationships. You go buy a car, but that's not it. They come back, and you want them to come back and feel like they're wanted at the dealership and that they're getting that number one service.
One of the things that we really pride ourselves is being a part of the community. It's we sell a lot of vehicles, and I'm proud to say we were number one in the market. We've been number one in the market for some time. And I think that's a result of our relationship with our community. We know that we want to make sure we deliver great customer service and that our customers are inspired to come back. Many of them refer their friends or family, and they become our fans, which is wonderful. It's fun. But we also understand the value of giving back to our community. So we volunteer with things like Houston Children's Charity, the Houston Food Bank, Bo's Place, and different organizations that we know are making an immediate impact in our Houston community, are elevating it. And for my team, that's really important. And I think it's also, that care pours into our work.
To have another goal outside of the bottom line. I think that's important. Now, going back to women in business, I want to talk about this word that's imposter syndrome. I want to talk about that. And we haven't actually talked about this before. We've
No,
never
we
talked
haven't.
about this. I was actually really excited about this with you. But in case, I want to let the audience know before Maria gets into this and gives us her thoughts on it. If you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's actually an internal experience of believing that you're not as competent as others perceive you to be. And this happens to a lot of women as they move up in their industry. And some examples would be the superhero, somebody who's overworked, they overwork a lot to make up for the inadequacy that they may feel, or they're perfectionists. So they're never completely happy with their work, and you're really fixated on your flaws instead of your accomplishments. This can really affect not just a certain type of person, it can affect whether you're a higher or lower social status, your work background, skill level, degree of expertise. I know personally, which I'd like to get into on early in my career, how I didn't even know there was a name for this actually. But is this something that you've ever dealt with in a male industry coming up as a female? Did you ever feel like, okay, am I ready for this? And I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday, that sometimes females, if we can't check every box on that job application, we're questioning ourselves, which is different for a man. Like a man can check 3 boxes and they're ready to go. So is that something that you dealt with early in your career?
I think most high achieving individuals, whether it's men or women, are probably going to second guess themselves or doubt themselves at some point or another. I think doubting yourself is natural, especially for high achieving individuals, because you want to deliver the very best work you possibly can. I think for me, the key has been to keep moving. I tell my team, don't get mad, just keep moving. And that's how I embrace everything in life. If you stop and completely second guess yourself and paralyze, which is what I see a lot of folks do, they paralyze and stop moving forward, stop trying,
because
stop giving their best.
They're afraid to move forward.
Yeah.
Correct.
And it's for me as a leader, when I watch somebody with a lot of talent that's coming up in the industry and they give up, it just devastates me, because I know they had everything in them, every quality that they need to be successful and to thrive, but they gave up too soon. They self-sabotage, they second-guess themselves. Yes. And all they had to do was keep moving, keep trying. Before you know it, something changes and success finds you around the corner.
Yes.
So the key, keep moving.
I love that. And I think that, with me, in the beginning of my career, moving up in my career from a account coordinator to an account executive and then eventually managing a team, I felt that way as well. I went through this period where I thought, okay, am I ready for this? Do I know exactly? Even though I had all the experience, I knew the business. I've been in marketing at this point for a decade, and I still questioned myself. And in my situation, it was more of a mind block. And I think that can really keep you from moving forward. And one thing about me is I can tell you is that I love to take risks. I'm a little insane that way.
You're up for the challenge?
I'm up for the challenge.
I love that.
Let me tell you. I've moved to Philadelphia for a few years, came back. I started my business. For me, it's exciting because I have that inner drive, just like you have. And I think that that type of thinking can really be detrimental to your career success. So just know if you've had this feeling, or if anybody has had this feeling out there and you're not sure exactly what that is, there's a name for it. But it's really just within your own head. And if you can mentally get yourself out that hole, there's such a lot of opportunity. There's so much out there for you. And I think that Maria and I both are in agreement that you can do it. Keep going, like Maria says.
I would tell you, I'm surprised that you say that
Really?
you second guess yourself, because you always appear so confident, so ready, and you're always so prepared. I would have never guessed that you second guess yourself. So that goes to show that a lot of times when you think that you're not good enough, the other person may be seeing something totally different.
Yes.
And that's what you've got to embrace.
Yes.
The fact that, they don't know what you don't know. Just keep moving forward. Give your best foot forward.
Yes.
And like Kristina, always be prepared. Really learn your craft. Embrace it. Be the very best that you can be. Whatever you do in life, give the best of yourself, and the best will always come back.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you did invite me to, and I want to talk for a quick moment about the BMW, what was it, the Sonic Women's Symposium that you invited me to. It was a few years ago now.
So a colleague of mine and myself, Mariana, who is the general manager of Porsche West Houston, and myself, we both participated in the Shakti Fellowship in San Diego University, and we decided to start something called Empower, which it's a symposium, but it's also a group designed to empower women in automotive, to build their confidence, to give them the tools they need to step up, to show up, to speak up, and to succeed and thrive with all the qualities that they already have. And it's just learning how to tap into those qualities and bring them into the automotive industry. So we're very proud that we started our Empower Symposium.
Yes.
You got to be a part of the very first one. And
I was very honored. I was very
amazing
honored that
coaches we had.
Yes, and that's what really, that was something that made a difference for me personally. I will say that before I took a management position that I might have felt I wasn't ready for, even though I knew I was. Mm-hmm. Some of the advice was, and one of them came, I forgot who it was who said this, but I remember she said, I wish I would have known this sooner, and she wished that she would have had the confidence sooner in her career, and that really spoke to me. Mm-hmm. So I will say definitely that was, not to be dramatic, but it was life-changing mm-hmm. for me. So I love that you invited me to that.
That's so awesome. I'm so glad that you're sharing that with me, because I remember you taking on that challenge.
Yes,
and me knowing that you were ready and that you have everything it takes to be successful. But yeah, sometimes we need that nudge from that other outside source that tells us you're ready, you can do it.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
within you. And I know that men also second guess themselves, just like women, but it's more typical and more common in women. And one of the things that you were talking about, and we shared this before, is that we're a little more self-deprecating. We're
yes.
harder on ourselves, and men have a tendency to be a little bit more confident in
more forgiving of themselves.
They're better at self-advocacy, I would say. And so we have to learn to do that. And
yes.
I don't know if I've lacked that, though, because I told you I grew up one of 7 kids, and
yes.
I'm between both brothers. And I had to be pretty assertive early on. My brothers would probably call me bossy, but I call myself confident.
No, not at all, Maria.
Confident, more like it.
So the last thing I want to touch on, I can't have Maria on the show without talking something about the automotive industry. And we've been working together for a long time, and we've helped them with their BMW of West Houston with marketing. And I think even more important than ever, dealers really need that consulting. There are so many things that are thrown at them every day. I know that as a company, as a founder of a company myself, is that I get calls all the time on different vendors wanting to team up and work with my clients. So I want to ask you, to talk a little bit on the benefits that you've had working with KJ Marketing Group and how that really keeps you ahead of what's going on digital. Because everything really moved to digital marketing, especially. It was there, but when COVID happened, we had to pivot a lot to more digital, and that's been something that we've been focusing on.
Yeah, and our dollars became more scarce,
yes.
right? We had to be very intentional with how we spend our money, and our parent company really jumped in and got involved to help us, since the digital platforms are evolving so quickly, so promptly. It's hard for people to stay abreast of all the nuances.
Yes, agreed.
And I think one of the benefits of having you team up with us is keeping me abreast of all the nuances, keeping an eye on the digital tools and how they're performing, mm-hmm. and really understanding how the metrics work. At one point, click-throughs was a big deal. And now I realize, who cares how many click-throughs? I want to know what my cost per sale is, and
yes.
how it's translating to dollars in my bottom line into having more cars on the road. So from a digital platform perspective, your insight, your knowledge, your ability to share with us how things are working and your perspective on what things could change and what things we could do to drive more business while still being conscientious of the amount of money that we have to invest.
And that's the trick. Mm-hmm. We have to make sure that whatever budget you have, that we're making the most out of it.
But you also give us guidance on the things that we should try. The digital world is ever changing. Our parent company, Sonic Automotive, understood that, and so they took a lot of that responsibility off the shoulders of many of the GMs.
Yes.
With that said, we rely on folks that are also outside sources because they have so many stores they're looking at. And you being able to jump in and identify areas in need of improvement or areas that maybe were trending in the wrong direction has been key for us. So we're very grateful to have your insight, your expertise, and your ability to look at our business from a digital side. You know, the brick and mortar has always been super important in our dealerships.
Yes.
But in today, our customers are coming in digitally before they even think about coming to our store physically. And our competitors are seconds away. They're not miles away anymore. And understanding where we may not be appearing, where we're deficient, has been critical to making us one of the top performing BMW dealerships in the region.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that, Maria. I've really enjoyed working with you these past few years, and I do think being able to talk to a marketing partner, consultant, obviously we work with dealers in so many different ways, but really understanding the target consumer, really getting hyper-focused on the customer, on people that are ready to buy, that is the key right now, especially when it comes to digital marketing. And of course, you can optimize as needed, and you can really measure results, and there's so many ways to do that, which we will definitely talk about on another episode. But I do want to thank Maria for coming today and being a wonderful guest. And if you have any questions on automotive marketing or marketing in your industry, feel free to check out our website at kjmarketinggroup.com. And then also you will be able to download this at www.marketingmakeoverpodcast.com as well. And then Maria, did you want to give some information for BMW website, how they can get in touch with you?
Come visit us. We're on I-10 and Katy Freeway. Our website, our URL is www.bmwwest.com. And we have new, exciting, amazing product. The new i4, the new iX are our dealership for your disposal, for you to test drive and experience the ultimate driving machine. And many automotive dealers are concerned about being able to acquire inventory. And we're fortunate that we work for a parent company who's able to fulfill those orders. So come in, custom order your vehicle, and we'll have it ready for you within weeks.
Yes, they just launched the EV, so come test drive them. Maria would be happy to show you guys that. But thank you for coming to another episode of Marketing Makeover, and we'll see you next time.